Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents Ancient Egypt by Justine Willis, read by Nabil Elouahabi. Introducing Ancient Egypt. This audiobook includes a downloadable PDF with some useful images and diagrams that feature throughout. Kemet and the River of Life. The civilization of ancient Egypt grew up on the narrow, fertile strip along the banks of the River Nile. The river was the source of life and a transport route through the desert on either side. Black Land. The ancient Egyptians called their country Kemet, the Black Land. The name comes from the dark soil of the Nile floodplain. Each year, the river flooded, spreading rich, fertile earth. This soil turned the desert into green farmland, producing the crops that the people depended on. Red Land. Beyond the Black Land was Deshret, the red land of the desert. A hot, dry region, it deterred invaders and supplied the limestone, sandstone, granite, and basalts that the ancient Egyptians built tombs, temples, and pyramids with. This huge, unfinished granite obelisk was abandoned in its quarry at Aswan. River of Life. The Nile water made life possible, and the river was the main highway along which goods and people travelled. But it also had a symbolic importance. Egyptian civilization arose in the fertile land along the Nile. Egypt's towns and temples all lay in this strip, whereas the tombs were in the desert. The first capital city, Memphis, lay in the north, while Thebes became an important city further south. You can find a map of Egypt with the fertile land shown in green on the downloadable PDF that comes with this audiobook. Towards the northern end of the Nile are the pyramids of Giza. These enormous stone tombs were built more than 4,500 years ago, near Memphis, the first capital of ancient Egypt. Further south, near Upper Egypt, you can find the Temple of Luxor. Hundreds of temples were built along the Nile. The Temple of Luxor was begun in around 1400 BCE in Thebes on the east bank. Near the temple you can find the valleys of the kings and queens. On the west bank of the Nile, these valleys are the burial site of almost all of Egypt's rulers between 1539 and 1075 BCE. Even further south, near Kush, are the temples of Abu Simbel. Carved from rock cliffs far south of Aswan between 1264 and 1244 BCE, the two great temples at Abu Simbel were built by Ramesses II as a display of power. Timeline of Egypt. Although archaeological evidence for Egypt's early civilization stretches back almost 20,000 years, its written history had begun by 3000 BCE and spanned more than 3,000 years. Between 17,000 and 15,000 BCE, nomadic hunter-gatherers are living in the Nile Valley. Rock carvings at Kurta in the south show birds, gazelles, and aurochs, an early ancestor of cattle. By the 8th millennium BCE, people are settled in seasonal camps such as Nabta Playa. The stone circle there, an astronomical calendar, dates from around 4,500 BCE. Hieroglyphs develop in the 4th millennium BCE, at first as a way of keeping records. An inscribed bone label from circa 3,300 BCE was found in an early royal tomb at Abydos, and had been tied to a container to show its contents. By around 3,100 BCE, Egypt is united in what is known as the pre-dynastic period. The lands along the Nile are made up of two kingdoms, Upper and Lower Egypt. King Narmer unites them and is the first to rule over both. After him, kings wear a double crown, representing both kingdoms. Between 2686 and 2181 BCE, the first great period of Egyptian history sees the kings assume greater central power. This is known as the Old Kingdom. Many religious beliefs and art forms become established at this time, which is known for its monumental stone architecture. Between 2667 and 2648 BCE, the first pyramid is built at Saqqara as a tomb for King Djoser. It is designed by Imhotep, the first named architect in history, and has stepped rather than straight sides. As kings seek to ensure a place in the afterlife, pyramids get bigger. The biggest are those of Khafra and Khufu, constructed at Giza near the ancient capital at Memphis, between 2589 and 2504 BCE. From 1985 to 1650 BCE, and after a long period of famine and weak rulers, Montuhotep II reunites Egypt. This is the beginning of the Middle Kingdom, a time of peace and stability at home and conquest in the Levant and Nubia. Great fortresses are built and art and literature thrive. From 1650 to 1550 BCE, the Middle Kingdom ends when settlers from the Levant, known as the Hyksos, meaning foreign rulers, take control of northern Egypt. They introduce the horse, chariot, and new weapons. Between 1550 and 1069 BCE, we find the New Kingdom. Ahmose I is the first ruler of the New Kingdom. He defeats the Hyksos and restores Egyptian power. During the New Kingdom, huge temples, statues, and palaces are constructed. During the New Kingdom, warrior pharaohs expand Egypt's territory and defend the country from attack. Under Thutmose III, 1479 to 1425 BCE, the empire reaches its greatest extent, stretching north into the Levant and south into Nubia. 1539 to 1075 BCE sees the building of the valleys of the kings and queens. Almost all New Kingdom rulers are buried in networks of tombs near Thebes, now Luxor. The tombs are cut into the rock and painted. 1352 to 1336 BCE see the rule of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. This pharaoh and his queen and co-ruler break with religious tradition and develop a new, more naturalistic artistic style. After their deaths, the old order is quickly restored. Tutankhamun rules between 1336 to 1327 BCE. The famous boy king reigns for less than 10 years, dying aged 18 or 19. His treasure-filled tomb in the Valley of the Kings is discovered in 1922, inspiring over a century of Tutmania. During the late period of 1069 to 332 BCE, repeated conquests by foreign powers transform Egypt. The Libyans come first, then the Kushites of Nubia, 747 to 656 BCE. They are replaced by the Saites, a dynasty of Egyptian pharaohs, who were toppled in 525 BCE by the Persians, who in turn are replaced by the Greeks. From 332 to 30 BCE, Egypt comes under a period of Greek rule. Alexander the Great, king of Macedon in northern Greece, invades Egypt and removes the Persians. His general Ptolemy founds a dynasty that lasts for 300 years. The great city of Alexandria is built. In 30 BCE, we find Roman conquest. The last independent ruler, Queen Pharaoh Cleopatra VII, is defeated at the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE. The next year, Egypt becomes a Roman province. Temple of Hatshepsut. The funerary temple of female pharaoh Hatshepsut was a massive monument to her royal power. Located at the foot of cliffs near Thebes, now Luxor, it was arranged over 3 terraces and had gardens planted with exotic trees and shrubs imported from abroad. Gods and goddesses. Gods in charge. The ancient Egyptians believed that gods and goddesses controlled every aspect.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?